Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to your art journeying channel. Today we are being inspired by real life artists, and this time we are being inspired by Yayoi Kusama. She is a Japanese artist who predominantly is known with her artwork in fabrics and graphic design type situations, and is very recognizable by her dots. So quite often if you see her photography or her paintings, they'll be up on the wall, but the rest of the wall will be all with dots. She'll be wearing dots, so everything that's photographed with her painting will have dots over it as well. So it's kind of all consuming design process, I suppose. And the reason I chose her to do this page was my daughter's got kids A to Z female artists book. I picked it out for them, and I've got all my favorites in there, but her page really stood out to me, so I wanted to do something in my journal. And it just so happened that the next fashion magazine I picked up, they actually had an article all about her. So the face that I'm using in this collage is actually her face, so they had her photographed. I've had a bit of liberty of putting some stuff together, but I had lots of fun. And get inspired by anything. So obviously I'm inspired by this, and I was also inspired by the book that my kids had. But there are so many things that you can be inspired by in the art world, whether it's another artist or it might be a design focus of the artist. So in this case, it's using her color scheme and her dots. It might be Frida Kahlo with her bold colors, Georgia O'Keeffe with the flowers, big blooms. There's so many different ways that you can play around with these things. So have a go, just get inspired. So I've cut out a picture from a fashion magazine, and then I have cut out the image of Kumasura's head and glued that on. I put the big yellow dot behind her head as well, just kind of to replicate the background a little bit, and because circles are so important to her and her artwork, but also as a little bit of a design trick, I suppose, because the background is that red and white and her hair is so red and blends in with the background, it helps push her out from the background. With all the dots, I've put a little bit of a shine on them, and then I'm going around with my black pen really, really loosely and highlighting all the dots. Then I'm going around my image itself, and again using my black pen just to sort of help make it look that 2D cartoony type effect. Now on her dress itself, I didn't actually go in and do all the dots. Looking at it now, I wish I'd done some of the yellow dots on her the black part of the skirt. I think that would have been a nice balance with what was happening at the top of the page, but hindsight always happens. I am going in with the red pen and the white pen though, and adding some detail into the skirt. So these are all details that are in the skirt already, so I'm just going over the seam lines just to really sort of make them pop out from the background. Once I finish doing that, then I'm just sharpening up my edges, and I'll go around, I think, and do the white dots as well. Using paint pens or using acrylic paints, it is a good idea just to make sure that they're dry before you go on to your next step. Now, in most sensible cases, people might leave that for a while to dry. I don't. I just keep going, so that's why I use my heat gun. So I do know that some people have some strong opinions about using heat guns and acrylic paints, because acrylic is a type of plastic, obviously. I work in a well-ventilated area, so it's not too much of an issue for me, but I can, I know why people think that as well. I did put some green at the bottom of her dress. Now, the reason I did that was obviously to try and contrast with the red at the top. I wish I hadn't used the green though, and maybe gone with the yellow instead, so I had, that repetition of colour happening on my page. So quite often, I have those considerations as I'm doing it. With her halo, I suppose, I've gone around with a gold pen because they're new in my stash and I'm using them, or I have been using them on everything, to add some extra dots around it. So again, I could have sort of put a crown on, but because she's known for her dots, and that's what I wanted to focus on. So with the quote, I wanted to grab something that sort of reflected what was happening. I think the keyword I looked up for was circle quotes, and I came up with this one. So keep your circle small and your mind at peace, which I quite like. It helps in the background. Obviously, I'm using the black pen, long skinny letters, and then just using a little bit of white around it just to help pop it out from the background. So it's a really, really simple page, but that's where the inspirations come from. So I'd highly encourage you, if you have days that you're not sure what to do, get a notebook out or have a look at your favourite artist, or grab a design element that you think, oh, that's interesting. It might even be a colour scheme, and use that. So get inspired by someone or something and go and have a go at it in your journal and see what you come up with. So thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye for now.